Ryan, if we're talking who the best corner is in the 2025 NFL draft, I don't think we have to look much further than Michigan's Will Johnson. The dude is an unbelievable player. His instincts are phenomenal. What are your thoughts on him, and how high do you think the Michigan defensive back could go?
I mean, he's firmly in the top 10, if not in the top 5 selections in the 2025 NFL draft. I think he's the best pure cover corner in this class, Joe. When you throw everything into the bucket as far as athleticism, size, experience, I really think this kid is about as high a floor as a prospect as we have in this group.
If we're talking strengths here, what makes him so great? I mean, first of all, the frame is phenomenal. He's 6'2". He's over 200 pounds, which is hard to find for a corner who's that heavy, and he plays with that weight really well. He moves really freaking easily. He explodes in and out of his cuts. But the biggest thing for me that gets me juiced up, Ryan, is watching how quickly he makes his decisions. The ability, and it's all over his tape, even despite not playing half of this season, it's all over his tape watching him make those quick, instant reactions to make plays on the football. That to me is stunning, and that to me is what makes him so rare as a player.
Well, I think we always kind of joke about like the coach's kid stuff, right? Or like coming from a football family stuff, but he comes from a football family. His dad played for the Wolverines, and he strikes me as a kid that has just always been around the game. So you see that intuitiveness, you see the instinctual nature that he brings to the game. Because you're right. I mean, if we isolated again the fact that he's 6'2", 202 pounds, and is a really good player as far as change of direction, short area stuff, he would be a high-level draft pick. But when you add in the athleticism and the physical profile he has with the fact that he's also a really instinctive football player that sees the game at an advanced level, that's what potentially makes him a special player. So about as can't miss of a corner prospect that's come out in the last couple years. You could argue that a couple guys might have higher upsides or higher ceilings, but the fact that this kid just does everything at a good to very good level on top of being as smart as he is, it really is about as clean as a swing as you're going to get in this class.
I feel like to pinpoint any weaknesses, we kind of have to nitpick. Do you agree with me on that? Like I watch this tape and I just don't see much. Okay,
I think there's one weakness. I would say I don't think that his straight line speed is great. Which is why I keep comparing him to Trumaine Johnson that played with the LA Rams, because he was a really good corner, but there was a lot of zone injected into his game a little bit because he wasn't really a straight man-to-man turn and run with every burner that you're going to see on a football field on a snap-to-snap basis. Like, that's not really Will Johnson's game either, similarly the way it was with Trumaine Johnson. I think that Will is probably a 4.5 flat to 4.52 type of athlete, straight line. Like, I don't think he runs incredibly well, but it's solid enough, right? Like, he's going to be able to stay glued to most guys down the field. But I do think if we're going to really just find one spot would say is less than an elite trait or one of the deficient traits in his game comparative to everything else that's pretty good, I would say that he's not a great straight line athlete. He's solid, but I don't think that he's plus in that regard.
Outside of that, though, phenomenal player. Could be the first corner selected in this upcoming draft. Should at the very least be a top 15 pick. Let us know in the comments what you think about Will Johnson. Do you want your team to draft him? Where do you want to see him play? And how early would you pick him? Let us know below. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll talk to you folks later.